Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, my guest is Dina Ting. Dina is the head of global index portfolio management at Franklin Templeton. And today we want to talk about a relatively new topic that is of interest to technology investors, the Metaverse. We will be discussing the concept of Metaverse and arising investment opportunities. Welcome, Dina.
Thank you, Thomas. It's nice to be here.
Dina, Metaverse is the latest technology buzzword in financial markets that have been around since Facebook was renamed Meta. So what is new about this trend?
What's new about Metaverse is the supporting technology that will make it a reality for Metaverse. Maybe we can go back to what Metaverse is really about. The expectation is Metaverse is a combination of mixed media between the virtual and the real world, right? When it's seamless between the two worlds. And what will enable that to happen is the technology to make it more seamless than the experience that you have. And if you think about how you look at the Metaverse, just think about when Apple launched iPhone in 2006, right? At that time, people doesn't realize what impact it will have to their life. Now we are, 16 years down the road. So Metaverse, in my view, is similar to that. It's still at the cusp. And what could happen 5-10 years down the road, it really depends on the technology behind it and the players within that universe.
Hi there. Just a 2-second break. Before we continue with the video, just make sure to subscribe to our channel now to not miss out any updates. Thank you very much and enjoy the video now. There were already first virtual worlds roughly 20 years ago. So why is the time now right for the next wave or level of Metaverse?
It's the enabling technology around it that makes it a difference, right? Because people already use gaming in the virtual world, and during the pandemic, everybody has been using video. In fact, we're using video right now to communicate. But where I expect Metaverse to look like is beyond just this, that you can be a lot more seamless between the virtual as well as the real world, where you can move from like different area and where you can actually do more than just social, but also how you work, right? So it means imagine being able to virtually decide what's the best manufacturing plant structure, for example, or like learning from autonomous driving, right? You can simulate that in the virtual world, and that will kind of bring productivity. So it's beyond just social and gaming, but more actually productive things that could help the business moving forward.
Facebook is now a Meta and has become somehow synonymous for Metaverse. Just now, the company has announced the layoff of 11,000 employees. So is the Metaverse topic already a restructuring case before it even take off?
That's a very good question, right? People associate Facebook or Meta with Metaverse, but they're just one definition of Metaverse. If you look at different company, how they define Metaverse is quite different, right? Some call it Omniverse, some call it Metaverse, but the reality of it is way beyond what the Meta has kind of like in place. And with any new emerging theme that comes through, there's always periods where some company will not do as well because everybody are still attacking it from different direction, right? Whether you're the payment company enabling it, the blockchain technology to allow things to be more decentralized, and also like the content. So since everybody's doing it in a different way, it's really difficult to see who the winner or loser is. So you would expect that through like this evolution, you will see some companies succeed and some company that doesn't even exist yet will become the winner kind of in the future.
Which economic sectors and industries will be affected by the Metaverse, and what economic impact will the new technology have?
The reason why we kind of structure as a thematic is because it tends to go beyond like the traditional sectors and traditional companies. So in terms of like the impact, I think there's a lot of impact, right? Because it will impact how we do our work, how we socialize, and how we play as well. So if you look at that, it's beyond just technology. And that's the reason why the size and the implication, it's still to be determined. If you look at the numbers, people are talking about some really big numbers, but many years down the road. I think in terms of reality, how it will impact, it could be auto industry, right? For whatever reason, because at the end of the day, if you are trying to kind of use this metaverse to help like auto driving, for example, that has impacted the auto industry. If it's about like how you create or build manufacturing plan, then it will impact industrial sector, right? So there's like many and then if you're talking about the shopping and like all the spending in the metaverse, then it will be consumer discretionary. So there are many sectors that could potentially be impacted with the metaverse technology.
New technological trends frequently go through the valley of death or valley of tears before the trend becomes established. So how long will it be before metaverse technologies dominate our everyday life?
Yeah, that is a more of a long-term questions. I would expect probably longer than like 5 years. Part of it, the reason why the challenges that people are having with metaverse is because the technology is not quite there yet, right? So it's still not easy for people, not as seamless as it be. So it requires the development of the platform itself, as well as the technology that enables that, the infrastructure around it, before people really kind of like sign on and becomes a bigger kind of like evolution and a more of a integrated to the day-to-day life. So, but the beauty of investment that are long-term, that is still at the cups is right. The potential return could be really big, but the road to get there is probably bumpier than something that you've already familiar with.
The composition of your Metaverse ETF reads like the who is who of the US big tech. So what makes this portfolio different from other technology ETFs? So how do you compose the index?
Yes, it is quite different. So our Metaverse ETF is based on a natural language processing to kind of extract a certain theme across. So it goes beyond the conventional financial information, and it looks at certain keywords that is relevant for like the development of the metaverse. So even though currently it has some of the big tech, but it's actually global in that sense. And you will see just a little bit underneath all the other supporting technology and companies that you may not be aware of. And what we structure in terms of the index is a combination of the exposure to the theme, but also the investability. And that's the reason why you still see the big names there because of their size. But we are trying to balance it out across that 60 name that we have in the portfolio, is to get the emerging technologies while at the same time kind of balancing out on the liquidity with the size.
So you mentioned a couple of industries that are involved. So where do you see the single most important or interesting investment opportunity in Metaverse?
I think the reason why thematic investment matters and why the structure of ETF is beneficial, think about it if you're a venture capitalist, right? When there's an emerging area, they don't invest in one company in the area, right? They invest into a basket of company because it is difficult to determine who are the winners or loser. So structuring an ETF with about 60 companies in the thematic area, such as metaverse, is kind of a similar way to simulate venture capital type of investment into a nascent area. So having that basket of security, and that basket, remember, is not the same, right? Because semi-annual basis, it will be rebalanced based on the relevancy of what they do to that specific theme. So not only you're able to kind of keep up over the years with who are still relevant in that area, you can also participate to ensure that you are a little bit more diversified, not just putting all one egg in one basket. So it's giving you kind of a broad exposure and allow you to kind of follow through kind of going forward with that particular theme.
So this was Dina Ting, Head of Global Index Portfolio Management at Franklin Templeton. Thank you very much, Dina, for being with us today and sharing your insights into the metaverse and new investment opportunities.
Thank you.